Hello, everybody. Zash and Zash and Zone here. Last night on Hannity, something came up, which I talked about over a year ago, and we're gonna watch Hannity's little clip here, and then we'll discuss my idea.
A federal judge who you appointed has just ruled that you must give CNN reporter Jim Acosta his press pass back. Your reaction to the ruling?
It's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. What they said, though, is that we have to create rules and regulations for conduct, et cetera, et cetera. We're doing that. We're going to write them up right now. It's not a big deal. And if he misbehaves, we'll throw him out, or we'll stop the news conference. Nobody believes in the First Amendment more than I do. And if I think somebody's acting out of sorts, I will leave. I'll say, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you coming, and I'll leave. And those reporters will not be too friendly to whoever it is that's acting up.
Well,
And that tells you the president is not after shutting everybody out of the press briefing. Jim Acosta acted the ass, got called out for playing the ass, and yes, the courts have got him his credentials back, but that does not mean that the president or the secretary has to call on him to ask a question. They can close him out in another way. But moving on through this.
Vice President Trump during an interview that will air in full on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace. CNN reporter Jim Acosta has regained access to the White House, but the administration is expected to address reporter conduct with new regulations. Joining us now is White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, who I used all of my powers of persuasion to get her into the studio tonight. So one of the statements that came out of the White House today was a statement from you that indicated that there were rules being developed and a protocol being developed. When will we expect to see what that looks like?
Well, I think the biggest thing to take away is, and the place that we focused on is exactly what the president said. We support a free press, but freedom of the press doesn't mean freedom to be disruptive, freedom to be rude, freedom to interrupt and impede the ability of the colleagues of the disrupt.
And because Acosta and several others act like children in the press briefing, they're actually having to codify these rules. Just generally being respectful of each other can't be expected in modern society. No, we have to codify and tell them, no, when you are told to give up the mic, you must give up the mic. Want to act like a kindergartner? We will treat you like a kindergartner.
Disruptive reporter from actually being able to do their jobs, as well as White House staff from being able to do theirs. We've laid out in a letter to CNN and their team what we think were some of the missteps that their reporter made at the press conference on November 7th in a letter that we sent them tonight, and we expect to see a response from that. Look, the judge, I think, was actually very clear that the White House has the ability to say, you can't come in. You don't have freedom of the press doesn't mean freedom to the White House. And he said there has to be due process. And so that's what we're doing. And we'll see what happens from there.
I mean, the judge's ruling was not a First Amendment ruling. It was the judge's ruling was not a First Amendment ruling. It was a Fifth Amendment ruling.
Exactly.
He never said that CNN had been denied their First Amendment rights, because obviously they can say whatever they want. The government, including the White House, has never said, here's what you can't say.
And they also have 50 plus additional people that are hard pass holders at CNN. They actually are one of the individual outlets that has the most hard passes of any news outlet in the country is CNN. They're one of the top three. And so the idea that they aren't able to get information that they need from the White House is frankly laughable.
Well, let me ask you some process question. How many seats are in that press room?
I believe there's 49 seats.
So 49 total seats. There are thousands of journalists across America. Who gets to decide whose rear ends occupy 49 seats, and how come they get them?
Isn't this interesting? They're finally getting to the meat of what I wanted y'all to see this time. May 14th, 2017, I asked this question, and I had an answer to it. When they're done talking, I'll talk to it about it again. But you can see right here, I put it up on YouTube. Did anybody care? No, there's only 2 views there.
And thousands of others never, ever get to darken the door of that place.
So we work with the White House Correspondents Association, but they are the primary people that help determine who those seats belong to.
Do they actually get to pick them, or can you say, okay, on this next Thursday, we're going to have journalists from anywhere in the country except Washington?
Well, tradition has been in the past that the White House Correspondents Association determines who's...
It's not law.
True.
And so if there was a desire to give other journalists an opportunity to do it, because I think some people see these same folks in there every day and they say, how come they get to do it? And I'm sure there are broadcasters and print reporters all over America who would love to be able to come and ask the president questions, and probably wouldn't keep talking if he asked them to stop.
I think that's certainly an option to explore, and maybe we will in this White House. I know the president is one of the most accessible presidents probably ever, but certainly in modern history. He's taken, in the last 6 weeks leading up to the midterms, he took 300 times the number of questions from reporters than...
All right, stopping right there. Okay, now that they've got to the meat of the subject, let's talk about my idea. My idea is to split the week into 5 days. Yes, we've got 5 working days in every week. We give Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to the mainstream media to keep bullshitting like they have been. Why? Because they want to grandstand and talk about themselves. I don't care about themselves. What I do care about is business media. I want to give Tuesday to business media. Why? Because I care about things that affect my paycheck. The people in this country care about things that affect their retirement, their paychecks, their well-being. So let business media have a day in there. Then on Thursdays, let's go for the alternate media sources, whether they're YouTubers, just smaller media sources. The Huffington Post, Breitbart Media. That's 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, but they never get a chance to ask a question because ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, Fox, they're all up front. They're the big names. That's the only people that want to get called when we have mainstream media in there. You want to get more information out of the White House? Offer more people the chance to talk. Thank you for coming and watching this video. If you did, like, subscribe. I'm going to try to start getting back into this. I have opinions. And when I tried this before, nobody listened to my opinions. I'm going to try again. It's all I can do. Thank you for your time. Like I said, like and subscribe.